Have you seen these sort of questions before? Yes, I thought so. These questions are some of the most asked questions in the maths. And maybe it's time that you learn this question once and for all. So, here we go. There are two standard questions, and one of them is when you're given a function from the start. And then you're asked to either find f of some number or find a solution for f of x equals some number. The other question is when you are given a graph to a function. And then the same questions. Here we go. First one thing. If you see this little bit, it means that y equals f of x. And it almost always is like this. When you see f of x, it is the same as y. And that's if we're talking about x and y. You can use other variables too, of course. But it means that if you have this little thing here, we know what it tells us about x and y. The whole thing, f of x, is the same as y. That means that the whole thing here, the whole bit on the left side, this value is the same as y. Not the number 2, but the whole thing, f of 2. And because of the equal sign here, it means that the left and the right side must be the same. That means that the number 6 also is the value of y. So y equals 6. But the number 2, it is the number inside the parentheses, and this number always means x, if we are talking x and y. So this bit is always x. So this information is really a point in the coordinate system. It really is the same as writing 2 and 6 like this, or you can write that. So when the x is 2, then the y equals 6. So the first question. Given the information that f of x equals 2x minus 3, find f of 2. Okay, the thing inside the parentheses was the number of x. So we know that x equals 2. So this information here, the question, if you write it, you can write it like this. Find y, because the whole thing here was equal to y. So find y if you know that x equals 2. To solve the question, we take this bit and replace the x value with the value of 2. And then we got f of 2 equals 2 times 2 and minus 3. So it equals 4 minus 3, and this will be the same as number 1. So the answer to the question is that f of 2 equals 1. Final answer. Okay, so the B question. Solve f of x equals 2. And this time I know that this bit is y, the whole value of f of x. And it tells me that the number 2 here also is y, because the left and the right side is both y. The thing that we don't know is the value inside the parentheses, and this is the x value, of course, it's just x. So they could have asked the question like this: y equals 2, find all possible values for x. Because when you solve an equation, sometimes it's more than one possible solution. And then we have to find all of them. And we take our equation like this. And the thing that we do is to replace f of x with 2. So we put the number 2 instead of this bit. So 2 equals 2x minus 3. And on both sides we add 3. And I write it only once, I write it here. So on the right we got 2x only, and on the left we got 5. And then we divide all sides by 2. And on the right we got x, and on the left 5 over 2, or 2.5 is the same thing. So the answer to the question is x equals 5 over 2, or 2.5. Yes box. Maybe you will ask why we can't use y all the time. And that's because if we have some different functions like this, it is nice to give them different names. And the letter in the function is the name of the function. So the first function's name is f, next g, and the last s in these cases. And the letter inside the parentheses, it's there only to tell us which variable the value of f depends on. So here the value of x depends on what value x have. So if x is 2, then f will be 2 plus 5, 7. It depends on the value of x. And in the last equation we have t instead of x. It's okay, we can use different variables. The value of s depends on what the value of t is here. Okay. And then we have question 2 as well. And this is a graph. And the information here is that y on the graph equals f of x. The y-axis is this one, and the x-axis is this one. Okay, so A, find f of 2. Now we know that the number 2 here is the value of x, and we will try to find the value of y. So it's the same as asking this. Find y if you know that x equals 2. Okay, so on this graph, can you tell me where on the line here, where do we have a point that x equals 2? Okay, say stop. Stop. So, here. Because if we take this point and go to the x-axis, we find the number 2. And in this point, we will know the value of y. So, in this point, we go and see what y equals. And it equals minus 2. So, the answer to the question is that f of 2 equals minus 2. Because the answer is the value of y. Okay, so the B question. Solve f of x equals 2. And then we know that f of x is the whole value of y. And the question could be written like this. Y equals 2. Find all possible values for x. So, on this graph, say stop when y equals 2. Not here. Here's y 3. So say stop. Stop. Okay. This point. Here we have number 2. But we have 1 point more. So boom. Here we also have number 2. So this question have 2 solutions. The first one is the value of x here. It's minus 2. And the last one is the value of x in this point. And it's 4. So the answers is x1 equals minus 2 and x2 equals 4. Okay, so then you know the thing inside the parentheses is always x, and the whole thing is always the value of y. Please comment and give you your tips to solve these questions and how to think about them. Bye bye. See you in the next video.